All right, here's a question to you guys then, because I don't know if I'm like just getting old or if this is just like it's just like boomer talk. But do you feel like the golden age of the internet has passed, or has there even been a golden age of the internet?
I don't know.
I think the wild west is gone.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if I were to say, I don't know, because like golden age of something is such a fucking subjective
what do you define
thing.
as the golden
It's so
age?
subjective.
Yeah, the best period.
But like best period based on what? Like
you're
your own.
I mean, it's subjective. Right?
Yeah, right. It's like
subjective.
best based on like your personal experience with it, or like best like objectively, or like best based on something or other. Like, because I can argue that like like my personal golden age of the internet would be now, because like,
shit's easy to use
yeah,
now,
it's
man.
shit's easy to use. Like, you know, you can get any information with anything, and everything is so conveniently laid out. But best experience in terms of like my overall enjoyment of it would be like the mid 2000s, because that was like the golden age of like Newgrounds and like Flash games, and like that shit was so fucking fun, and none of that exists anymore.
I mean, now when I download something, I'm like 99% sure it's not a virus, whereas back then it was the opposite ratio where I'm like,
well, just
this
everything
is a virus, but I really want that cool mouse though. That mouse that popped up looked really cool with the sprinkles. I really want that, man. Like,
I want to turn my cursor into like a little cat.
I think I want 9 toolbars. You know, I remember the horror when my mum showed me her laptop, and I thought I fucked one of our PCs, but she had like 4 Internet Explorer like fucking toolbars, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, you know, like at the time, like I hated it, but you know, the reminiscent like times of like going onto my mum's PC and having to swim through all the pop-ups just to get to where I needed to go to was like, I hated it at the time, but now I look back and it's like, oh yes, internet do used to be like that.
Yeah, because I feel like everything now is, you know, it's everything is more formulaic, more clean.
Yeah,
I'd say everything has been like optimized.
Yeah,
as we were saying, it's like the internet has definitely been optimized, and you know, that's why I bring up the argument of like, was it better when it was like had its charms, when you feel like you were discovering something new and it felt fresh, you know, or now that everything's formulaic, everything's laid out, everything's clean, that it's just less fun.
I mean, like, you know, the whole, like, as I was saying earlier, like the whole like mystery of like discovering a new anime, right? Like back then in like the mid 2000s was fucking great, because it was like going into a gold mine that hadn't been discovered yet.
Yeah.
Right. And like, you know, it was the whole thing, but at the same time, it was a double-edged sword, right? It was like, do I dare click on this anime to try and discover it, with the risk of possibly getting, I don't know, like 7 Trojan horses coming into my house, you know, like, it's like, do I take the risk? It's like, oh, Wild Wild West, here we go, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's like, if I click on a link, like, I'm fairly certain I'm going to get something, and it's probably going to be something I've already heard of, right?
Exactly.
So, like, the entire mystery of it is gone. Like, oh my God, the amount of time I spent on, like, Newgrounds, for example, just going through just the most shittiest of cartoons and Flash games to find that one game or cartoon where it's just like, I'll never fucking
do you remember the first time you discovered like the fucking stick figure fights on Newgrounds, and it was just like the best shit ever? You're like, I don't need top 10 anime fights, dude. I have like Zhao Zhao or whatever the fuck it's called.
Dude, the moment I discovered like the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny,
my god,
like that shit. When I found that, I was like, this is peak internet. Like nothing will top this. No movie or experience will ever top this.
That was the song, right?
Yeah, it's like, this is the ultimate showdown.
Yeah, that's the guy who made
Destiny.
the Harry Potter puppets as well.
Yeah, same guy. And when I first discovered that, I was like, dude, this is my entertainment for the next 20 years. Like, I will never get bored of this.